Hello, Keith. Hi, marhaba, ahlan Dubai. And here you are sitting with your very own show host, Rags. I have to say, today's been an interview marathon for your show host, but I'm so excited. And hey, the energy never drips. You all know me so well. So here I have sharing with me on the other end, my screen, Audrey Zona from Jersey. Hi, Audrey. How's New Jersey doing?
Oh, hi, Rags. New Jersey is actually beautiful today.
Of
Very sunny
course.
and warm. Yeah.
Of course, just like you, Audrey. And I know many of my viewers, guys, please show her lots of love and hit lots of comments for her because, she's amazing and you'll find out very soon why. So I usually have a thing, Audrey. I start my interviews with quotes, but today I wanted to add a little different flavor. So can I go ahead?
Sure, go right
Yeah.
ahead.
So I have something written, okay? So if Jim has 50 chocolate bars and eats 45, what does he have? Do you want to answer this, Audrey?
If Jim has 50 chocolate bars and he
That's right.
eats 45,
That's right.
what does he
What does
have?
he have?
A very full stomach.
Viewers, you already know why she's sitting on the other end. So I will answer this one. Diabetes. Jim has diabetes.
Yes, he does. There's a good chance he does. I will say that.
Okay, so linking this to diabetes. Well, what is the concept of clean eating, Audrey? And how can we eat healthy food and still not be overweight? And then you tell me if we can be overweight.
Yes. So
Take
this
this.
is this is a heavy-handed question, and I will try to keep it as simple as possible. So the concept of clean, now I'm going to just preface this by saying these are my own opinions through my years of trial and error and working not only on myself, but with hundreds of women, men, teens, and working very closely with functional medicine doctors. This is like my own experience. Okay. So the concept of clean eating is really eating anything that has like one or two ingredients. That's how I look at it. And I will
Wow.
always say to my clients, you want to eat something that flies, swims, runs, or
Oh.
grows out of the earth. Those are the things, think chicken and beef and fish and eggs and nuts and seeds and spinach and plants and vegetables and fruits. Those are all like one ingredient items, right? Food. Those
Correct.
are the foods that will give you all the nutrients you need, the amino acids that you need to build strong muscles, to keep you functioning at optimal level. So that, in my mind, that's clean eating. But what's very interesting is that clean eating for the sake of just being healthy and clean eating for weight loss are two kind of different things. I
Very
have
interesting.
I have a lot of clients that will call me and say, I'm avocado fat. And I say, I laugh. I'm like, what do you mean by that?
I'm one
Well,
of them. I'm one of them.
I'm eating avocado toast every day, and I'm eating handfuls of almonds. And I put a lot of olive oil, in my salad dressing. And Audrey, I don't know what's going on. I'm having, almond butter, as a snack with my apple, but I'm not losing weight. So when we break it down, yes, these things are very healthy, and healthy fats are very important to the body. However, in certain portions, portion control is everything. It cannot be this unlimited amount. Healthy food can be very calorically dense. So we must watch how much we're eating. It's not a free-for-all just because you're eating clean ingredients. I hope that answers.
It's a beautiful answer and it's a deep one. You were right. It's very deep.
It's very complex, and I always will say, the way I coach my clients is having a serving of healthy fat with each meal is so important, but it's not really beyond the serving, because It's not having an entire avocado with your meal. That's not
Mm.
going to work, unfortunately.
Very, very nicely said.
So,
We'll quickly jump to the next question, Audrey.
okay.
How can we eat healthy food and still be on a budget? This is
Mhm.
something that, we in Dubai often keep pondering on. So
Yeah. So I don't know what it's like for you in Dubai. Do you have stores like we have here called Trader Joe's? Do you
we
have?
have we have Waitrose, yes. So
Okay. So
yeah.
so the honest truth is that eating healthier foods can cost you more money
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
fresh organic fruits and vegetables are slightly more expensive than
Sure.
conventional.
Sure.
But locally here, we have stores like Trader Joe's
Hmm.
that have organic produce for a
Hmm.
fraction of the price that
Hmm.
some of the other stores sell it for.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Hmm.
most people locally to where I am don't have
Right.
a problem being on a budget and of being
Hmm.
able to afford
Hmm.
healthy, clean food. Now, what
Hmm.
I will always say is you might think eating healthy is more expensive, but
Hmm.
what will it cost you down the road if
Hmm.
you were to get ill? What
Hmm.
would it cost you if you continue to eat poorly, to eat highly processed foods, and to, God forbid, develop diabetes, heart disease,
Hmm.
dementia?
Hmm.
Those things, those
Hmm.
medications you're going to have to be in,
Hmm.
and God forbid, a hospital visit is going to
Sure.
cost you
Hmm.
thousands more than what
Hmm.
healthy, clean food will cost
Hmm.
you right now in this moment.
Hmm.
So I really, and I know that a lot of people who don't eat clean will spend
Hmm.
hundreds of dollars a month on Starbucks. They'll spend hundreds a month
So true.
on
Hmm.
fast food, on
Sure.
grabbing junk,
Hmm.
throughout the day in their office, area. So
Yeah.
I don't buy it. When someone says to me that it's
Hmm.
costing them money, I
Hmm.
will always kind of
Hmm.
call them out on it and say, let's start totaling what
Hmm.
you're spending on the other foods in your life.
Very, very nicely explained this. Viewers watching her, please take a note. Go for those hummus and the falafel bowls. They are waiting for us. That's our local food, by the way. The Lebanese, Middle
I
Eastern
love
food.
Lebanese food. Oh my God, it's
Really?
my favorite.
Oh, Mabruk. Okay, so how can we eat healthily in order to lose weight? Is it just the
So
same
eating
basics?
healthy and weight loss. So you know what, Rags, there are so
Mm,
many pieces to this weight loss equation, many pieces.
mm,
It's not just about the food, but
mm,
because
mm,
that was your question, I'm going to focus on the food
mm,
today, but
mm,
I want to just
mm,
mention briefly
mm,
that hormones play a role. Your
mm.
sleeping plays a role. Your
Sure.
cortisol levels play a role. If you have
Absolutely. Mm,
insulin resistance, that plays a role. How
mm,
sedentary are you? What kind of movement are you
mm,
doing on a daily basis?
mm, mm,
That will play a role. What kind of medications are you on?
mm,
That will impact weight
mm,
loss. So, my approach to weight loss is very holistic and
mm,
integrative
mm,
because there are so many reasons as to why somebody is
mm,
either not losing or
mm,
struggling. It's not
mm,
just about the food. And let me also touch on the fact that there's
mm,
emotions that come into play.
mm.
So you
Sure.
you might
Sure.
be thinking toxic thoughts and you may have a lot of stress going on in your life, which
Yes.
therefore is raising your cortisol,
Mm, mm,
stimulating insulin to be produced and
mm,
signaling the body to store
mm,
fat. So it's a myriad, of
mm,
pieces.
mm.
I would say there's pieces
Correct.
to this weight loss puzzle. But
Sure.
getting back
Mm,
to the food itself,
mm, mm,
thinking clean, whole, real foods,
mm,
a lot of plant-based, so vegetables are super important. A
mm,
lot of vegetables, a lot of salads,
mm.
lean protein sources, whether it is animal protein sources or
Mm.
plant-based, you have your beans
Right.
and tofu and things like
Sure.
that,
Mm,
is a fabulous.
mm,
Um, Always a serving of healthy fat.
mm.
I encourage my clients to what I call be
Mm.
insulin aware.
Okay. Mm,
Insulin is the hormone. Insulin is
mm,
your fat storing hormone. So
mm,
the objective is to watch your blood sugar spikes. You do not want to spike blood sugar because then insulin gets released in the body. When
Of
you have
course.
too much insulin released in the body, it signals to store fat.
Mm,
So
mm,
things like fruit. I know you had asked about sugar. So fruit is extremely healthy, but it's sugar at the end of the day. It will still break down into glucose and fructose.
mm,
So although fruit is sugar, it has a lot of fiber and
mm,
nutrients and minerals and is wonderful, correct? But you
mm.
want it in limited portions. And I
Yeah.
always suggest eating the low sugar fruits,
Mm,
higher sugar, higher fiber fruits. So things like
mm,
berries and
mm,
apples and
mm.
pears are the direction that I encourage my clients to go with fruit. And no more than 2 servings a day, because
Okay.
for,
Mm,
in my
mm,
eyes, it's
mm.
too much sugar.
Sure.
I will always say unlimited green vegetables. I
Mm,
mean, have a party. Don't
mm,
worry
mm,
about your
mm,
salads, your spinach, your
mm,
kale, your bok
mm,
choy,
mm,
your asparagus and zucchini
mm,
and cauliflower and broccoli. All wonderful. Have fun. Have as much as you want.
mm,
Um, protein. Protein is something that most women don't
mm,
realize they need a lot
mm,
of.
mm.
Generally speaking, women are under proteined.
Okay.
So I recommend, the
Mm,
guideline really is 1 gram of protein for every pound that you weigh. Now,
oh,
it's more
okay.
of a
Mm,
desired weight. So if you are on a weight loss trajectory and
mm,
you
mm.
want, if your goal weight is 130
Sure.
pounds,
Pounds, yeah.
you
Mm,
should be shooting for about 130 grams of protein per day. That is
okay.
a fabulous place to land. Most women are getting about half of that, and
Mm,
they wonder why they're not able to maintain lean body mass, and they
mm,
wonder why they're always hungry and looking for carbohydrates and sugar.
mm,
Feed
mm,
the protein. It will
mm,
keep your blood sugar stable, keep you
mm,
satiated, keep you full, and
mm,
helps to retain lean body mass when you are restricting calories. So if you are
mm,
on more of a diet, and I hate to even use that term, but you're
mm,
trying to lose body fat,
mm,
the goal is to hold onto your lean muscle. You don't want to lose muscle. And if you
mm,
don't give your body enough
mm,
protein, it
mm.
will tap into your muscle stores to use for energy.
Okay, okay.
So
I'm
having,
glad we spoke about this, Audrey, because during the pandemic, isn't this what most of us have been doing? Because we're, like you said, we're sedentary. So, Dubai has only opened very recently. I don't know how it is for you in the United States. We've
just
opened,
opening
yeah,
very
yeah,
slowly right now.
very slowly in softer corners and softer corridors. So that's exactly what we went through. We were like just sitting watching TV, or for example, I was just interviewing all this while long, and I even said this on one of my interviews, that I had a packet of Cheetos. But of course, I gave it up. I gave it up. Don't do it, viewers. It's not cool. And I'm glad you spoke about it. Shall we move on to the next question, Audrey?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So, can I eat healthy if I'm buying a takeout or if I'm eating out? What are your thoughts? What are your ideas?
Absolutely. I love to eat out. I mean, prior to the pandemic, I would order in or go out,
Sure.
twice a week,
Sure.
especially on the weekends.
Yeah.
So these are kind of the Zoe Healthy guidelines that I always
Hmm.
recommend.
Hmm.
Always start your meal with a broth-based soup or salad
Hmm.
or a vegetable of sorts.
Hmm.
Starting your meal with that fiber will
Hmm.
help to fill your body up so that you're not overeating
Correct.
on the more like unhealthy things like
Sure.
breads, pastas,
Sure.
and foods
Yeah.
that are what I call sort of
Yeah.
empty calories. So you
Hmm.
always want to start with some vegetable or like a soup of some
Hmm.
kind. And
Hmm.
then always, basically, I say, look on the menu for where's your protein. Is it going to be fish? Is it going to be
Hmm.
steak? Is it going to be chicken? I will
Hmm.
always recommend grilling or sauteing with a little olive oil. I
Okay.
always say, tell the waiter or waitress no butter, because If you don't say something, they tend to use a lot of butter,
Sure.
a lot of
Sure.
heavy sauces. So steer clear of fried things.
Mm.
Steer clear of something if it says it's battered,
Mm.
if it's crusted in something. That's basically code for breading, breadcrumbs, fried. So you want to really order on the grilled side or the saute side or the bake side, right?
Sure.
This doesn't mean flavorless food. They
Mm.
can use spices, they can use herbs, they
Mm.
can use some white wine. Their
Mm.
olive oil is wonderful. So
Mm.
where's your protein source? And
Mm.
then you pair it with a vegetable. So whether
Mm.
it's sauteed spinach or broccoli rabe or whatever vegetable, if you
Mm.
really desire some kind of a complex carbohydrate and you really need to have like the half a sweet potato or half a
Mm.
baked potato or a
Mm.
little bit of rice,
Mm. Mm.
fine, but it's a small portion. Okay.
Sure.
The
Sure.
poison is in the portion. So you want to
Mm.
have a smaller portion of that
Mm.
and just load up on the greens and
Mm.
the things that you can have a plentiful amount.
Mm.
That's always my suggestion, when going out, just looking for the cleaner things and
Mm.
things like cheese. Be very aware of the salads that
Mm.
come with candied nuts
Mm.
and cheese
Mm.
and
Mm.
all those toppings. Your salad all of a sudden is 1,000 calories.
Mm.
Always ask
Mm.
for dressing on the side. Maybe
Mm.
just get olive oil and vinegar on the side and some lemon wedges, and
Mm.
you do it yourself so that you're in control of
Mm.
how many calories are going on that salad.
Right, right,
So
right. Nicely said. Nicely said. Yeah. You know, I love how you're saying all these things. They're so honest to God, we know everything. Okay. But the point is, how many of us are really doing this? How many of us are really following the principles of right eating? So I'm glad you're saying that. And I'm so happy I have you on the other side of the screen. It's
aw,
good.
thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So is sugar toxic? Should I be worried about sugar in fruits? You partly already spoke about that.
So sugar is a very interesting topic, and
Mhm.
I speak. If you've been following me, Rags, I talk
I
about
have. Yeah.
sugar a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Reason being is that sugar can be quite toxic and
Mm.
really poisonous for some individuals, not for everybody. So
Mm.
just like I'm going to compare it to alcohol.
Mm.
Just like somebody could
Mm.
have a couple of drinks and be absolutely fine,
Mm.
your best friend might have those couple of drinks, and
Mm.
unfortunately the way it
Yes.
triggers and
Yes.
metabolizes in
Mm.
their brain and in their
Mm.
body, they
Mm.
unfortunately can become addicted and
Mm.
have
Mm.
a
Sure.
problem with
Sure.
alcohol. The
Sure.
same thing goes for sugar and for flour.
Mm.
Both substances are addictive
Mm.
drugs.
Mm.
They are highly processed
Mm.
and they will affect everyone's
Mm.
brain and body differently.
Mm.
I call something the susceptibility scale, where I would ask a client a bunch of questions to
Mm.
see sort of where they land on the susceptibility scale
Mm.
for addiction.
Mm.
And when I get a client that's a 9 or a 10, when it
Mm.
comes to things that are sugary, and it
Mm.
could be chocolate, it could be muffins, it could be ice cream, it could be
Mm.
candy. If
Mm.
it's something that they can't control, that
Mm.
they want all the time, if they have one bite, it turns into the bar. If they have one bite, it turns into the whole pint of ice cream. And if it's something that
Right.
they
Mm.
think
Mm.
about and want it regularly, then
Mm.
guess what? Sugar for them is toxic
Mm.
and it
Mm.
doesn't work. And this
Mm.
has nothing to do with willpower. This
Mm.
has
Mm.
nothing to do with labeling a food bad and then
Mm.
binging on it because you've labeled. It has nothing to do with that. It's truly how it is
Mm.
metabolized and
Mm.
dealt with in the body.
Mm. Mm.
I have some acquaintances and some clients that
Mm.
can have one dark chocolate square every day, and
Mm.
it's just enough for them, and they're good. And
Mm.
others can't touch it because it turns into
Mm.
just a parade of
Yeah. Yeah.
junk all
Yeah.
day long.
Yeah.
Certain foods are so highly palatable,
Hmm.
and for some individuals, they're not able to handle it.
Hmm.
So I even have some clients that can't have apples. For
Hmm.
whatever reason, the sugar in the apple
Hmm.
triggers them to then want more sugar.
Hmm.
So
So it depends.
it's
Hmm.
very
Hmm.
um, case by case. And
Sure.
that's something
Hmm.
that only you know, that
Hmm.
you feel
Hmm.
inside of your body, whether you can handle it. Um,
Hmm.
and so generally speaking, I know it's a drug, just like, it's like an alcohol, and
Hmm.
they even compare it to cocaine, and they
Hmm.
compare it
Hmm.
to heroin, believe it or not.
Oh
There have
dear.
been
Hmm.
many studies done with mice where
Hmm.
they give the mice real cocaine, and they give the mice
Yeah.
sugar. They
Yeah.
give them both. They
Hmm.
actually go to the sugar. There's more of an addiction to the sugar
Hmm.
than the
Hmm.
cocaine. It's
Hmm.
really um, eye-opening, and
Hmm.
there's a lot of science happening now on really understanding what happens
Hmm.
when people ingest sugar who have that higher susceptibility.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
this isn't what I'm speaking about, doesn't touch on everybody by any means.
Hmm.
Really, it's not a one size fits all approach.
Hmm. It's
And
case to case, body to body,
it
type to
really
type.
is.
Hmm.
And I love fruit. I think fruit is wonderful. Um,
Hmm.
I for sure include a serving of berries every single day, and sometimes a
Hmm.
little bit more. And
Hmm.
that's just enough sweetness for me.
Sure.
But
Hmm.
some people are even triggered by fruit.
Hmm.
So really
Hmm.
you have to learn, where you land and
Hmm.
what works for you in your own body.
Sure. Yeah. Nicely explained that one, Audrey. What are the best foods to eat before a workout? I'm
So
finally going to get back to my working out. So I'm just excited.
okay. So interestingly enough, you do not have to eat before a
Hmm.
workout. This is
Hmm.
also a case by case individual
Hmm.
approach. Some people wake up, they are not hungry. They're just the way their body operates, they're not hungry. And they do better on what we call a fasted workout. What's
Hmm.
interesting about doing a fasted workout is that you actually reap the benefits of as
Hmm.
if you were doing intermittent fasting.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it all has to do with your muscles
Hmm.
pulling on your glycogen stores. And
Hmm.
so if you're comfortable exercising and not eating, that's
Hmm.
great. There is
Hmm.
absolutely no rule that you
Hmm.
need to eat prior to a workout.
Thank God you're saying this. Thank
So
God. Because
that
I
is like,
fall in this bracket, Audrey, and I can't tell you. Mom, you have to watch her.
no, it's fine. What I will say though,
Hmm.
very important to eat within an hour of finishing the workout, especially protein.
Sure. Hmm.
And you want to use that is the time when
Hmm.
your body, after workout, is when your body will use the sugar. So
Hmm.
that's the time to incorporate your
Hmm.
carbohydrates. So if you
Hmm.
wanted a little more carbohydrate,
Yeah.
that is a great
Yeah.
time to take advantage of having oatmeal or
Hmm.
having a sweet potato or
Hmm.
having extra
Nice.
fruit.
Hmm.
That's the time
Hmm.
that the body
Hmm.
will really use the
Hmm.
carbohydrate that you are
Hmm.
giving it.
Hmm.
So important to eat within the hour of exercising, but you
Hmm.
do not have to eat prior to. No.
Awesome. I'm glad I asked. How can I get enough protein if I don't eat meat? A lot of
So
us are vegetarian. I am,
yes.
Audrey.
Okay. So you can get protein, but
Hmm.
I will explain
Hmm.
that protein from animals, from plant-based sources,
Hmm.
do not have the full amino acid profile
Oh,
that you
okay.
find in animal protein.
Hmm.
So it's interesting. I follow a brilliant doctor in New York,
Hmm.
and she actually is an integrative doctor,
Hmm.
and she speaks about her whole kind of theme is muscle centric medicine. And
Okay.
she talks about how important it is to really eat animal protein
Hmm.
for the full spectrum of amino acids.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's a little tricky. You can get definitely sources from chickpeas and beans and tofu, and there is a lot of there is protein in vegetables, but
Hmm.
the amount that you would need to eat
Mm.
get the amount of protein that's really necessary is just an enormous amount. So it
Oh.
does get a little complicated.
Mm.
Um, I would say just keep doing what you're doing, possibly adding an additional plant-based like protein
Mm.
powder to
Mm. Mm.
uh, to your day, or
Mm.
adding you know, I'm just thinking probably some sort of a plant-based
How about soya?
soy.
Soya? Mm.
So soy is, you know, it's funny. Here in America, soy has a little bit of a bad rap. Um, it must be organic.
Mm. Mm.
And with
Mm.
so many women dealing with cancer, soy
Sure.
is not recommended.
Sure.
So
Sure. Mm.
we kind of have like,
Mm.
yes, people are eating soy, but they're
Mm.
watching it
Mm.
very much
Mm.
so.
Your
Um,
viewers listen to her.
yes, because of the estrogen component.
Sure. Mm.
So
Mm.
yes, I'd say, you know, and like, you know, people think there's, you know, protein in nuts, and
Mm.
there's like a whisper of protein in nuts.
Oh.
Nuts
Mm.
are a fat. Nuts are
Mm.
fat. Nuts are not considered protein.
Mm.
So it is a little more challenging
Mm.
being vegetarian and vegan and
Mm.
not including any animal.
Mm.
Some of my vegetarian clients will eat fish, and they
Mm.
do incorporate
Yes.
eggs,
Yes. I have
just
many
that
friends who eat fish. Mm.
they're getting a little bit more in there because it is hard. And I
Mm.
have to also add that a lot of my clients who come for weight loss purposes
Mm.
have a very hard time losing weight
Mm.
while eating beans. Beans can be very, very carbohydrate heavy. They are
Mm.
very starchy.
Mm. Yeah.
So most of my clients that come, you know, wanting to go the bean
Mm.
direction
Mm.
end up not eating them anymore because
Mm.
they really are kind of prohibiting them from weight
Mm.
loss.
Mm.
And there's also something with beans, they have lectins.
Mm.
Lectins, unless you're making them in a pressure cooker or really soaking
Mm.
enough,
Mm.
lectins can also be a deterrent for weight loss. So
Sure.
it can be a
Mm.
little complicated.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not against plant-based.
Mm.
I love it.
Mm.
It
Mm.
just doesn't always translate
Right.
well for
Right.
weight
Mm.
loss.
Mm-hmm. Viewers, follow her channel. Follow her channel. We'll be sending them a
Uh,
little, yeah, we'll send you the handle, guys. Okay, so when should you try a cleanse? Is there a time to try a cleanse, or can I just do it anytime?
Really, so most people, when they hear cleanse, they think juicing of sorts,
Right.
like only doing
Yes.
juices. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
Really, the best time to do something like that
Hmm.
is in warmer months. The
Hmm.
body doesn't really like juicing,
Hmm.
because I also
Hmm.
follow Ayurvedic principles. And I think
Awesome.
that's
Hmm.
something to really
Hmm.
consider is
Hmm.
like seasons
Hmm.
and what the body likes for different seasons.
Hmm.
So juicing is really recommended in the warmer months,
Hmm.
and I'd say spring into summer. And that's
Hmm.
also when the liver, the main detox organ,
Hmm.
is sort of ready to do its cleansing.
Sure.
So I am not the biggest fan of juicing
Hmm.
because you are
Hmm.
eliminating all the fiber
Hmm.
from
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
vegetables. You are strictly only having the juice. Now, there
Hmm.
are wonderful properties to the juice itself.
Hmm.
I would probably rather
Hmm.
a combination of some juices,
Hmm.
but only vegetable, nothing with any fruit, because
Right.
fruit
Hmm.
is too much sugar if you're eliminating fiber.
Sure. Sure.
So I would do a combination. I would maybe start the day with a celery juice,
Hmm.
you know,
Hmm.
celery and
Hmm.
lemon and
Hmm.
cucumber. And
Hmm.
then I would maybe move, personally, I would move on to like a bone broth. And
Hmm.
then I would maybe have some soups. I would do more of a cleanse. Like here in America, I
Hmm.
actually do, I work very closely with a chef, and
Hmm.
we do soup cleanses. So
How
you're getting,
often?
it's
Hmm.
all vegan.
Hmm.
It's more with beans and lentils and
Hmm.
tofu, but you are actually getting fiber in
Hmm.
the vegetables. So you are giving your body and your digestion a rest, but you are still retaining all the
Sure,
goodness in the
sure,
vegetables, and it's not just juicing.
sure.
Now, in terms of cleansing, you could also work alongside a doctor and do more of a medical liver cleanse. I actually just finished a 6-week liver cleanse with my doctor that was more about a lot of supplements that would really clean the liver. And then I had a specific diet, but I was actually eating real whole food. I had, no caffeine, and
Right,
certain
right,
weeks I had to eliminate
right,
certain things, but I
right.
was eating food
Yeah, yeah.
along with the supplementation. So there are lot of ways to cleanse. Um, but you also should know
Sure.
that the liver and your body cleanses all the time. It knows exactly what to do. And just by eliminating the big offenders like gluten and dairy and caffeine and alcohol, you can make a lot of changes just by doing an elimination diet for a while to see how you feel. That in itself is very, very cleansing. It doesn't have to be this radical juicing for
Sure.
5 days.
Yeah.
What that really does is give your digestion a break.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
so there are
Yeah.
lots of ways of
I
kind of
hear you well. I
attacking.
hear you well. Nicely said. Nicely said. Okay, so do you agree with the saying, eat your breakfast, share your lunch with a friend, and give your dinner to your enemy?
Absolutely. I smiled when I read that because I have
And I
said
had to ask you.
I have said this for years,
Hmm,
and many coaches and people in my field would
hmm,
probably disagree and say
hmm,
it doesn't matter
hmm,
as long as you're eating X amount of calories a
hmm,
day. It really
hmm,
doesn't make a difference. And I
hmm,
have personally felt,
hmm,
using my own self as a guinea pig, that I think it makes
hmm,
a huge difference.
hmm,
And when I eat a very light dinner and
hmm,
on the earlier side,
hmm.
I can feel the difference in my body.
Sure.
So
Hmm,
something absolutely happens when
hmm,
you give yourself more of a fasting period
hmm,
later in the day.
hmm,
So what's always recommended is to have a minimum
hmm,
of a 12-hour fast from the time you finish your dinner
hmm,
to
hmm,
your breakfast the next day. If
hmm,
you can give yourself 14 hours,
hmm,
15 hours, even
hmm,
16, the
hmm,
better. The
hmm,
body goes through a lot of cleansing
hmm,
and resetting, and it
hmm,
actually resets your insulin levels. It does
hmm,
a lot of beautiful things
hmm,
when you give yourself more of a time period. And if you could even eat a little bit
hmm,
less at
hmm.
that later meal, even
Sure.
better.
Hmm, hmm.
So I agree with that. I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of a
So
big,
Rags was right.
yes, absolutely.
Look at me. I'm so happy.
I have been a fan of this for years,
So
and
have I,
I
Audrey.
just
So have
read
I.
something last night. Another article just came out explaining that individuals, it
Hmm,
just came out a few months ago,
hmm,
individuals eat
hmm,
a larger breakfast
hmm,
and have the bulk of their calories in the first part of their day
hmm,
versus the backloading of their day
hmm,
over the course of time are leaner, thinner, are
hmm,
able to maintain
hmm,
their
hmm,
thinner,
hmm,
structure, and
hmm.
are overall healthier.
Sure, sure. Audrey, I'd
So,
also like to take, sorry, I'd also like to take a quick moment and tell my viewers, many of them have been saying my skin is glowing. You have to know because I'm following what Audrey is saying. So
oh,
please follow this. Please do this, guys. I'll quickly push on to the next question, darling.
okay.
What's your take on an alkaline diet? I've been following your page.
So, yes. So, alkalinity is something that I always strive to kind of have as part of my
Hmm.
world. But
Sure.
the
Hmm.
alkaline diet, per
Hmm.
se, is
Hmm.
not something that I subscribe to, like, oh, you must be on an alkaline diet.
Right.
Basically,
Hmm.
how I eat with lots of vegetables and fruit and really getting rid of processed foods,
Sure.
that is going to give you a much more alkaline diet, or an alkaline body. An alkaline body is a body that is really free from disease and illness. Your pH level is at a more neutral place. When you eat a lot of processed foods or even a lot of meats, you tend to be more acidic. And when you are more acidic, the body could develop more illness and disease. But I personally do eat a lot of animal protein, but I also balance that with a ton of vegetables and salads and healthy food, and I eat hardly any processed food. So the idea with alkalinity is to crowd out the sugar, crowd out the alcohol, crowd out the caffeine, crowd out the junk food, and bring in real whole foods, and the more alkaline your body will be. I mean,
So refreshing to hear. So refreshing to hear
yes,
this.
yes.
Sorry, did you want to add something to it,
I
Audrey?
was going to just say that if
Sorry.
you are possibly struggling with cancer, that's more important to be very alkaline if you have an illness like cancer, because they say that keeping alkalinity in the body will really help you to fight the disease. But at the end of the day, really, we should all be eating healthily,
Healthy.
and that in turn will be giving us more of an alkaline body. So
yeah, nice. And what's your easiest diet plan idea? My finale question.
easiest diet plan idea. I mean,
2 sentences.
just a few tips, basically.
Yeah. Very few tips.
So number one, hydration. You must drink a ton of water. Water is so underrated and is so important. Suggested to drink a minimum of half your body weight in ounces a day. So you want, here I have my cup here. I have water.
I saw you sipping this.
Everywhere I go in my house, I have my water.
How nice.
And it's so important to drink. You know, Rad, oftentimes people think they're hungry, but they're actually dehydrated. The feelings that you get in your belly of dehydration mimic the feelings of hunger. So before you go and grab something to put in your mouth, first ask yourself, how much water have I had today? So that's number one. Number two is sleep. So important to get enough sleep. People don't
also underrated. Also very underrated.
It really is so high on the list. If you don't get 7 to 8 hours a night, and that's really what's suggested, your hunger hormones, ghrelin and leptin, will not function properly. You will be searching for energy, and you will look for it in the form of sugar and carbohydrates. It is just proven, it's science, it's fact. So, and that's when the body is rebooting and recharging and doing all its beautiful work. Sleep is so necessary. So along with hydration. And then the third thing I'm going to say, I mean, my God, I could have a whole list. I mean, there's movement. I mean, you've got to move your body. That's a given. And then really eating real whole food. Like I said earlier in the interview, lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, lean protein sources, healthy fats, healthy carbohydrates, like whether it's a whole grain bread or it's some quinoa or brown rice or sweet potato in limited amounts. Grains can be a little tricky for some people, but really it's the crowding out of things like soda and diet products and diet drinks and chemicals. And you know, if something that you pick up in the store has a paragraph of ingredients, put it down. Don't even think about buying it. You know, you want the ingredient list to be very short, you know, under 10 ingredients to know that it's clean. And those are really I could go on, but those would be my top.
But let my viewers follow your page.
That's
Let's follow your page. Let's not spill all your business beans over here. Guys, follow her page. And I have to tell you, just before I leave, Audrey, I'm so happy to tell you this. See, I've been an Emirati kid through and through. We spoke about it. It's so nice to see how we have evolved with our food habits. You
Yes.
know, earlier we would stop on maybe a gas station or stop by and just pull out a diet Pepsi or a diet Coke and say, hey, okay, this is diet stuff. But now the same us, you know, we understand, like you rightly said, we read, we started reading our ingredients. And I think that's all it takes, isn't it? We just have to read what we're actually putting
Yes.
inside of our bodies.
Yes. Having an awareness
Yeah,
of,
sure.
what you're putting in your mouth, and
Sure. Sure.
what goes in directly affects
Mm,
your
mm,
brain,
mm,
your how you feel, your energy levels. I
mm.
mean, you put basically the saying, you are what you eat, is true.
Absolutely, absolutely. And our rulers also now very, very health conscious. So we have our fitness 30-30. I've been part of all that, done videos for that as well. So Dubaiites, please pat your backs. We've done something good and we have a proof here sitting with me. Audrey, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for
Oh,
this super valuable insight, and the interview's
absolutely.
been really fun with you. I
I
can't
love
thank
being.
you enough.
Thank you.
Basic tips, like I said, but you know, we often need these reminders. We
Yes.
often need someone to tell us.
And sometimes you just need that coach, that person that you can touch base with every week, and that will guide you and inspire
Sure,
you, because we
sure.
all kind of lose our way from time to time, but having
Absolutely.
that person that can really help you makes a difference.
Absolutely. And especially now, isn't it true, with the whole pandemic, we're also
Absolutely.
overwhelmed with so many things around us. So
Yes.
people, please do hit her a follow, do hit her a share even with your communities. And I'm going to end our interview at this. Audrey, you don't leave. I'm going to talk to you in just a minute.
Okay.
So guys, this was me, Rakhi Gandhi Rags, signing out. And I hope you guys had some fun today, isn't it? It's nice to pick up on nutrition, always a welcome topic. Thank you, Audrey. We love you for all these insights.
Thank you.
Just stay with me, please. I'm going to stop the recording.